Well, time now to look ahead to Monday's big game in the Premier League. It is Wolves against Manchester United. Difficult one to call, in my opinion. In terms of who's going to fight which corner, well, Jack believes that Wolves will come out on top. Simon is fighting the corner of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United. Let's start off with the home side then, Jack. Wolves started with a goalless draw against Leicester. But I tell you what, they go into this game with a really good record against Manchester United. Beat them twice at home last season. Can they make it 3 out of 3?
I think they can, yeah. 2-1 last time, both times around in both the Cup and the Premier League. I fancy that as a potential outcome, actually, around about the 12-1 mark. I think it's their game to lose, really. Manchester United had this great result against Chelsea. Can they back it up, though? I'm not quite sure. Wolves were fantastic again in the Europa League, winning 4-0, and they're just a team in form at the moment.
Could it be a bit of a hoodoo side for United, Simon, or do you think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will start afresh this season, just forget all about last time?
Yeah, last season, isn't it? I think United did have problems with Wolves last season, mainly for the reason that they play a back three, and Solskjaer's tactics didn't really find a way of getting round a back three. He's changed his tactics throughout the summer, actually. He's gone more for a sort of 4-2-3-1 now rather than the 4-3-3 last season. I think the more sort of presence in midfield that he'll have will see them put in a much better performance at Molineux this time around than last season.
For what it's worth, I actually think this might be a draw on Monday. I do think they're two very evenly matched sides, but I think in terms of a value bet, then I'll go with Jack on this because I think Wolves at home, it's very early days in terms of Manchester United. Maybe that scoreline flattered them slightly against Chelsea last week. So I'm going to go with Wolves being the value bet here. Looking in terms of potential goal scorers then in the clash at Molineux, well, Wolves weren't able to get on the score sheet last weekend, although they've been scoring plenty in the Europa League, Jack.
Absolutely. Again, 4-0 last night on Thursday evening, 4-0 as well in the original leg in the Europa League tie against Punic. Diego Jota has been absolutely stunning for me. Also scored in both of those 2-1 victories at home against the Red Devils last term. I think he's the man to look at, and you get good odds on him as well. A bit value, 7-1 first goal scorer.
Interesting. He's a man in form at the moment. Bit question marks over his fitness, maybe. So we'll see whether he has a big impact on the game. Simon, what about United's threats?
Yeah, I think Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, even Daniel James, I mean, they all scored in the opening 4-0 defeat of Chelsea. I think particularly Martial could be the one to watch against Wolves. He'll be playing as a centre-forward. They'll withdraw Rashford probably over to the left to cover the full-back as well. So I'd expect Martial to be the main man. About 6-1, you'll get him to be the first goal scorer.
And that sounds like a good bet to me, I have to say. I do worry about Wolves at the back in terms of pace. United have got it in abundance, as Simon says there. Martial, Rashford and James are lightning quick, and I think that's where Man United might cause them problems. So for me, I think the Martial bet is the one to go for here. Well, in terms of goals in this contest, what do we think then? I mean, Wolves, as I say, 0-0 in their opening game, Jack. They did score goals against United at home last season. Can they produce the goods again?
Well, I think you mentioned United's pace. I think that'll cause Wolves a few issues, actually. I think it'll lead to an open game. Wolves like to counter-attack as well. I think around about the over 2.5 goals mark, just about the right side of evens for us punters. I think that's the way to go. I don't think it'll be a tight game. Certainly, both teams can be a bit dodgy at the back. And I fancy it to be an open game, over 2.5 for me.
Simon, they looked a little bit more secure, United, against Chelsea with Harry Maguire in the centre of defence. Do we think that those problems have been ironed out now?
I think so. I think Maguire does make a big difference. You know, go back to last season, back end of last season, he kept 2 out of the last 3 clean sheets for Chelsea. In fact, the only goal, for Leicester, the only goal that Maguire has conceded in his last 4 matches was that thunderbolt from Vincent Kompany, which won Man City the league. So I'll be quite happy with that. I think Maguire has given that sort of leadership to the central defensive role as well. I think the players, you know, at the back now all know their jobs, and I'd expect United to keep a clean sheet in this one, to be honest. They were very impressive at the back against Chelsea, and I think going between 0 and 2 goals at about 7-10 in this one, but with United keeping the clean sheet would be my focus.
Well, I have to say, I'm going to actually have to give this as a draw between the both of them, because I think they've both made really good cases in terms of how this could go. It's so difficult to call between these two teams who I feel are pretty evenly matched going into this game. United do look more solid at the back than Wolves do at the moment, but in terms of going forward, I think United will still have that little bit of frailty about them, and Wolves maybe take advantage at home. That's our thoughts anyway on Monday's big game at Molineux. Make sure, of course, that you like our social media pages at Facebook and on Twitter, and make sure also that you subscribe to our YouTube channel.